All right, so we're moving on to the sophomore group. We'll start off with Adolphous. But for all y'all, remember, this is an individual breakdown of each of you guys that played in the Sci-Fair tournament. And the purpose is that you visually see the good things you're doing so you could, one, duplicate it, and the bad things you're doing so you can stop those. And I want you, it's one thing for me to talk to you guys and tell you, hey man, cut the space or make the extra pass or make a good pass. It's not by his ankles. But then when you see the repercussions of those plays, visually, I think it's a little bit more meaningful. So let's make sure we learn from this. So Adolphus, man, your strengths are you're a competitor, you're fearless, you're a gym rat. Right now, some of these things I'm gonna show you on video. When you're in the gym, don't just be in there tossing up threes. Make sure you're in there getting better at specific things. A lot of people confuse movement with progress. So just because you're in the gym, they think that they're making progress, and that is not the case. So make sure you become one of those gym rats because you're willing to be in the gym that's always making progress. Your weaknesses. So just like anything, remember all strengths can become a weakness if not used correctly. All right, so defense is, to me, your biggest weakness. Because you'll go after steals and you gamble, but that's not defense, especially when you play the higher levels and the better teams. You'll just become a liability. So as a smaller player, you've got to learn the small things of defense. We'll start off with that first. Your turnovers are way too high. A good point guard is a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. I mean, we got to make sure, and for the most part, it's not just your turnovers, it's the unforced ones that you really got to fix. And then playmaking. I think the video is really going to help you see some of that, what you're not seeing. You and I have gone back and forth about what playmaking is, and so this video will break some of that down for you, so you'll see what I see. And then your basketball IQ has got to raise. And as you become a better defender, that means you'll know better how defenses rotate, where offensive players are trying to get. And that means, as a result, when you're on offense, you can recognize plays and play a play ahead because you're a good defender. So defense, turnovers, playmaking, basketball IQ. Let's hit it. All right, so right here, this is you. This is how I view you in the open court defense. Okay, you're here, you're playing defense, kind of gamble for the ball, and then you just wait right here the whole time. Like, you and I have the same effectiveness on defense right now, and you're supposed to be on the court, right? So like, you're just waiting for something to happen, and you wait back there so you could get this leak out. You got to be thinking, I need to run in here because everybody else is running inside. You need to be sprinting ready for a skip pass, the extra pass, whatever. If Jacob traps, you got to take this pass away, but you're not in a position to take any of that because you're still hanging out at half court. So now let's look. Cam just hit the ball out of bounds. So now it's baseline out of bounds. So you just played poor defense there. So now they're taking it out. This is, as soon as you see, like, as you become a better, this is what I mean by defensive IQ. When this cross screen happens, on a baseline out of bounds, guys are trying to run to this block or this block. So this guy's supposed to screen and seal, and you just stand behind him. He don't even set a real screen on you. You're just willingly standing behind a guy that's much bigger than you. And you're not fighting to get inside. Now it's too late. So again, 2 defensive plays back to back. Right now, that's a liability. So you got to fix that and do whatever you can to get in front of them, especially at your side. All right, so this video doesn't get too long. I'm just going to choose one area of defense against this team instead of using all 3 of the games. And then just know it's happening more than just now, all right? Because I'm really going to get on you about these turnovers, so I need to save time for that. All right, so here's our first issue. Last tournament, this is what I had talked about. I said, hey, stay in line with the ball so they will throw it there. You're literally guarding him. So nobody's going to throw it there so we could get our trap. All right, and then weak side block out. You have an immediate responsibility to block the guy out, and you could tell that's not even crossing your mind that you have a responsibility. You could tell Ethan's looking to block out, things like that, but you just let this guy who's smaller than you run right past you, get a rebound. You put very little effort to recover. Usually if you mess up, you should be like all over this guy, and you just kind of stand there. All right, and because he's so tiny, and this is a bad team, they're not able to like get it up, but still, they get a second opportunity because you're not touching people. Exact same situation. Remember, we're on defense until we have that orange thing. All right? So now you can see Nehemiah blocking out. And remember, blocking out or rebounding isn't always a size thing. If you would have met this guy out here, he's only got on the weak side, we would have this rebound. But again, you're just walking forward like you're going to out-jump anybody on this court. This is that good team we played. So now that's what's going to happen. You're underneath him. He's getting a rebound. No chance for over the back because you're not blocking out. And look what Nehemiah did to that guy who's bigger than him. That guy's way out of the picture. But if you don't do your job, now they get a rebound. Who's that? Maui runs into Ethan, and Ethan gets another foul on him. All right, so you got to block out. Here, I want to give you maybe a pass, only because I'm not sure if Cam's doing the right thing. So I think this is a time where I said Z and we're trapping up here. The reason I'm not sure if I actually called that is because if that is the case, Cam should be taking away this next easy pass. So let's just say that I did say Z and Cam's in the wrong spot. But they're still able to just throw it on the line, and you're just kind of running around spinning like a top, right? So you got to make sure you stay in line so those passes aren't so quick. You see how they got you spinning? Now there's a closeout. A bad closeout is going to come from Cam. Now he could go by his guy. And again, after guys get by you, you immediately stop. You see how you're at the perimeter? Instead of getting inside of here, just in case Cam blocks his shot, there's a turnover, you could get some of those 50-50 balls. You're already starting to leak out. There's no reason you can't be right here. And once you realize Cam has the ball, to sprint up where you're currently at. All right, so now that's what I mean on defense. Usually once a guy gets by you, it's 5-on-4 for the other team because you're trying to leak out. Now, this is the type of stuff you can't do. All right, this is like one of those cool passes, but this is a 2-on-1 situation. As a point guard, you got to make this play happen at his feet. All right, so don't be cute with it until you can start being efficient with your passing. So now we don't get an attempt because, you know, you're not able to execute or attack a guy on a 2-on-1. And just think, that's a little small guy right there. All right, Jacob can easily score over top of him if you just deliver the ball. All right, so this is a transition. So you get the shot, and you got to do a better job because people, we do get you a lot of threes in the corner. But if every time you miss, you're going to put us in a compromising position, then we got to get you shooting above the free throw line only. You should be getting back once that shot happens. And you're walking, trying to figure out what's going on, and you don't get enough steals running at people. And if this was a good team, you wouldn't have a chance. It would make 0 sense. So look, if you get back, it's a 3-on-3 situation. Since you run up and they throw it past you, now Cam's on the floor, you're behind the ball gambling. You need to learn to be a better containment guy instead of taking all these gambles. Because now look what position we're in. Nehemiah and Jackie, and then they got 1, 2, 3, and they're on a 3-on-2 break. So now when you're running, there's no reason to run up the sideline because nothing's over here. So in transition defense, run to the middle because if they throw any pass from the bottom to the top, they should be nervous that you're about to fly by and make them less efficient. But you're completely out the picture, jogging down the side. So now Jackie went from guarding the person with the ball over there in the corner to now trying to contest because she had no help. All right. And there they go, cashing out because our transition defense and our transition effort isn't good enough. So look at Jackie. She's going to get the ball. Now she has to go get the next pass. I'm okay with Jacob getting down here because that was a layup they're about to have. So our transition help got to be better. Finish the defensive series with this. So that's you in the far side over there. So here's number one. You got to be more vigilant. You got to have court awareness. Ethan, for whatever reason, is in man-to-man. All right, so he's the only guy in man-to-man. But when he catches it, you got to feel this because the person with the most vision is the person in the back. So once he has the ball, it's like you don't know that this guy's wide open. So you should be drifting down here to take away the layup. Luckily, again, this is not a good team. So this guy is a robot. He's only looking over there instead of to the wide open person where Ethan left open. But you can see that. All right. So then you don't go and help on that, luckily. Now we're back to watching, right? We're not trying to find anybody or help block out. When that ball comes down, we always tell the post, don't bring it down with the mice. So they should be clawing and scratching not to let this guy get that back up. All right, they're back. So watch this. As soon as that shot is shot, you see it coming down to this guy, you should be sprinting in so when he takes it down, you could strip it. So there's no energy. They're a bad team, so they miss. So there's another rebound. All right. So then we don't block out. We don't get anything on the weak side. Alright, so I'm trying to get you to understand that basketball is more than just points. I mean, if we can't get possessions, meaning rebounds, and steals when we should, then we don't get enough possessions to win. So now you contest and you're way over here by the track. So again, you're out of the play when I don't think you need to be. Nehemiah's the only one consistently blocking out. I'd be so frustrated with the rest of the team right now if that was me. All right, and then they finally shoot, and guess how we get the possession? Nehemiah blocks out again, not because Ethan blocks out, Nehemiah blocks out, and Ethan gets to be the recipient of Nehemiah doing the only thing that that we've been taught defensively. All right, and so now you got the ball, but Nehemiah is the one who finally ended the possession by doing one thing that we've been taught. This next section might seem nitpicky, but this is about flow and getting us into our offense. So let's just go through these quick. So this pass right here, you got to throw better passes. Like that pass, Cam saves the possession because of how you threw it. But I need that to bother you. All right, so this is just a terrible pass. So let's talk about the accuracy of our passes in here. All right, so this is tower. You're typically going to throw it more of a lob than a straight pass. All right, so we throw it. It's a little too far. I don't want to blame that all on you, but the other thing you want to do is recognize Cam's about to cut because there's a lane. This guy is completely asleep. Cam's about to cut there. So be aware of where players are. Don't be a robot to the play. So Cam's cutting. He could just jump and tip it, but if you do it, it got to be a softer pass, and it's a little too far. I would have hit him as he's cutting so he'd have a basic layup. One is more about timing. There's a little bit with accuracy, but more about timing. So as Cam's there, you can't see up the court, but they obviously have 1, 2, 3 guys. The fourth one's right here. If you throw it immediately, we get an easy 2-on-1 situation if you throw it sooner. If you throw it after your first dribble, we can still make that play. But now you got to take a second dribble, you got to cock it back, and then throw it. And now you throw it behind them. All right, so this would have been, if you'd have thrown it sooner, that would have been a 2-on-1 with Nehemiah cut. Well, 3-on-1, because then we got Ethan on the backside cutting. But so the timing was a little late, and I just want you to see that that play's gone. So remember, we had that talk about timing. I hope you could see the potential in that play if you throw it a little sooner. This is you as a point guard getting us in the flow of our offense. All right, we talked about the value of running our offense. We want guys to have to guard and hit multiple screens. We got a good offense, but if every time you come down you feel like you got to throw the entry pass, unless it's a direct score, don't throw it. Just throw it to Cam, and then let's keep the offense going. But you go through the legs, and now Ethan has to score over the top of somebody. It's not like we hit him on the roll. Now you got to score over the top of somebody. All right, so let's get the offense moving. But let's watch a couple more plays where you can see the offense typically always stops with you, and we don't want that. We want there to be flow to our offense and them to have to guard 3 sides. Then maybe we go inside. All right, here's another example. Okay, we throw it ahead, see what we can get. All right, Nehemiah gets it back from you. All right, so now Nehemiah is initiating offense. So he's going to get the flow of the offense going. But here's another example of like it just typically always stops. So you got it. You could keep the offense moving, but you try to make that tight pass, and it's just a turnover. Just throw it to Cam. Make them guard multiple screens. That's not open enough to throw it. I want you to see this stuff, so when I say it, because this is something I want to be able to coach you from the sideline with. When I yell out, hey, don't kill the offense, I want you to know what I'm talking about. So look, we're still in the offense. Nothing was there. We swing it. Now you get it, and something just has to happen. Right? So now we throw up a double clutch shot, and then we don't get a shot at the basket. All right? And you're getting on Ethan instead of, man, tap yourself on the chest and say, my bad. There's no reason to get on Ethan about that pass because you should have just kept it moving anyway. All right, so we got to keep the flow of the offense going because, one, this team isn't a good defensive team. All right, and this team is a good defensive team, and that's why you got to let it touch 3 sides against them. Plus, we want to take possessions out of the game because they're better than us. All right, so we want to swing the ball to Cam and make them guard, and you're trying to make this squeeze, and here's the thing that you don't see. Jacob's not all the way cleared, so that means help side defense is right here. So if Ethan does catch it, help side defense is going to be right in front of him. It's not even there for us to do. So we need to, like, if you come down on the first possession and throw it, it's just not going to end well for us. I don't want to get on you and act like it never worked when you try to make these plays. Here's some of the successful ones, but what I want you to know is the value of running through a set getting them tired, making them run through our or defend our continuity offense. Because if they don't, we'll have a layup. And how inefficient that makes them when they come down to this end. So, but here we go. Pocket pass. All right. Little far, but I mean, like I said, it's on point. We can live with that. All right, here's another good diagonal pass. You see Ethan, and you throw it right there. We get a finish. Here's another good one over the top. Now, keep in mind, these are still happening off of without the offense happening, right? So there's still value in that. Ethan shouldn't have dribbled, so that's not on you. That's on him. All right, same thing. You're running point. This is actually my favorite because I see some training in this one. You turn your body first. You tell the screen to come. You make sure Ethan hits him, right? And then you ball fake to get this guy to commit. The longer you occupy the help guy, the more open Ethan will be. So watch your pump fake. Pump fake, pocket. All right, so that was really nice. That was probably my favorite one. All right, and in transition, these are the plays you need to look to have more. You gotten a lot better at this too. All right, so we get it out there. Jackie throws ahead. That's a 2-on-1. Just throw it over the top. We don't got to dunk it. Just tip it on in. All right, that's a great decision because what you're trying to do is the defense should be trying to make you make one more pass than you are people. So that defender should try to get you to throw it to Ethan. He should close out to Ethan and make him throw it back to you. And by that time, a second guy should have helped you. That's all you can do in that. But as an offensive player, you're just trying to make one pass. And as you get higher in level, you'll realize that a lob will allow you to make one pass and a score. So that's good. And let me finish this rule because, okay, so just like here, this is essentially a 3-on-2. We got Ethan, you, and Jackie's right here about to start cutting. So their job, just so you know defensively, if it's a 3-on-2, you're supposed to make one more pass than you are people. So there's 2 of them. They should be trying to make us make 3 passes. So if we threw it to Jackie, then Ethan, if they can make them, those 2 can make them make one more pass, then that gives the rest of them time to go. But again, here's a lob pass, and they don't even make you make 2. So that's an easy score. Let's watch it again. You're pushing it down, throw it to the bottom corner of the backboard. Nice tip in. A couple things to think about that pick and roll. Like there's some good plays that you make in there. Thing you want to think about is one, that's playmaking, right? But that's playmaking because of the offense. All right. So you got to think about, hey, how do I duplicate that? Can I put myself in that environment on my own? Because some coaches don't have picks coming. Some coaches haven't taught pick and roll from the side from a 1/3 screen. And that's part of what's allowing you to be successful. So you either got to talk to your guys and the people on your team to do that so you can duplicate what you're bringing. Because if not, now you lose a lot of playmaking. Also, those plays were made against the 2 weaker teams. So you got to think you weren't able to make those same plays against that stronger blue team because the defense is better, and that's probably that's a lot more what you're probably going against if you're playing. So you got to think about that. So get stronger at that pick and roll. So this is your reads, and I talked to you about this. You got to attack bad closeouts or closeout situations in general. So here we go. Jackie's driving. She gets to the paint. She kicks to you. You obviously you're usually willing to shoot that, but be willing to attack against his momentum. If you get to the middle of the paint, then this guy has to pick you up. Jackie keeps flaring to the corner, and if this guy picks you up, then you got Jacob down here on the block, Jackie going to the corner. But regardless, you got to attack space. All right, so let's watch it again. That's a closeout. Attack against his momentum, and you should be in the paint effortlessly shooting an easy shot. So keep in mind, this section is about reads. So you throw it to Jackie, stay behind the ball. When this trap comes, nobody's guarding Jackie. Why not just throw it back to Jackie? Like, Jacob's pointing for you to throw it back to Jackie because then this guy helps up. She throws it to him. And you're trying to split for what? So now it's a turnover, and that falls under the unforced category. All right, so this is against the blue team. Got to take advantage of any defensive mistake. Calicato starts to cut. They both go with him. You got a bad closeout lunging at you. You got to read that closeout right there and go by him. And then we just let him off the hook. All right, so it's one of those situations where when you learn to read closeouts, that's the easiest part of the game. You don't need handles to get by people. Just need to run your offense. If somebody gets a paint touch or somebody reads it wrong, attack the closeout. And right now you're not reading that. All right, so this is usually what I see from you. Okay, so they attack. These guys are about to rotate to help. Jacob throws a great skip pass. You got a guy running full speed, out of control. If you just pump fake, he'll fly right by you, and you could still take an easier 3. So he's just out of control. But you still take the 3, and obviously it bothered you because you missed it. So you got to read these closeouts. Easy situations to create easy points for us. Because if you get to the paint, now somebody else is going to be wide open. And this is 2 different reads that you can make depending on who you are as a player. I'm okay with you shooting the shot, but you got to space the floor. You stayed so close that this guy was able to run you off the line. So Jacob made him commit, threw it to you. But if you were in the corner, you would have had, you could have laced it. But now, maybe you didn't want to shoot it or that closed out because that's a long kid. You attack. So now you got to read. You took 2 with you. Are you able to jump pass and throw this ball right back to Jacob? And throw it where help came from. So that guy came from up top, which means either him or Cam would be open. If this guy would have rotated, you would have threw it to Ethan. And if he helps the helper, you got to make that read and throw it all the way to Nehemiah. So there's levels to this reading thing. All right. But once you drive your vision, you got to be able to make other people better. But you shoot it every time. And nobody's going to give you that foul. So right there, you could have had the shot, didn't take that, you drove, and you didn't read the rotation. So now they're going the other way, and you know how this is going to end. This could still go into that other category of keeping the flow of our offense going. So you dribble here. We got the screen coming way out here at half court. We don't want that. But if you just throw it to Cam, our offense continues. If you throw it to Ethan, way out here past the NBA three-point line, there's no good that can happen because that's not how our offense flows. Ethan's going to panic and take off. Boom, there he goes. And so now we're not in our offense anymore because you threw it to him. All right, so why not just come off this screen, throw it to Cam, and then we just still run our offense. So as a point guard, you can't continue to kill flow. So here's another closeout read. Guy closes out hard. You actually make the read and attack him. So now, here's the different read. Once you get middle, Jacob May's our best 3-point shooter. You did all the hard work, and then you don't have the vision to see. So now you circle out, and it's okay that you threw it to him, but here's the thing. This is a bad team. Against that blue team, he wouldn't be open. Jacob May might have. So, we don't make that. That's all right. And then we attack again, and I told you, like when you're picking up the ball this far, about to shoot from here, you're attracting everybody without kicking. You got to make Jackie better by giving her shots with people 4 feet or further from her. So you throw up this running hook, and it's just not going to end well. You got to have the vision to make other people better. All right, and again, let's learn to make people pay for these. We got a kick. We got a person. Huge closeout. All right. Could have shot this one, didn't. All right. If you keep attacking, right, all of them are going to shrink in the lane. Whoever's on this weak side will be open. Anybody will be open if you keep attacking. Right? Like Jacob May was open again. If you keep driving, let's back it up. If you keep driving, then all of them will attract, and then you would have Jacob May right there on the wing if you drive and throw that kick with the intention to pass. Final one. This is when you hear me saying attack space, right? So you got the ball here. I'm saying attack space. Right there, that's space. All of this. If you just drive a little bit, either this guy will help up, then you got Jackie. Maybe you could throw it to Ethan. But if you do nothing, then like you're not just only going to pass through a zone. Somebody has to go get a paint touch. All right, so then, we throw it back. Oh, we take a risk, a huge one. Ball comes back. Same exact situation. If you drive, that guy commits, you got Jackie wide open. But you got to drive. And being aggressive doesn't mean you have to shoot. It just means aggressive. Like, don't just swing it to Jackie. Drive, make him commit, then swing it to Jackie. That's aggressive. So, this is good and bad. You made it, but it's, in my opinion, it's fool's gold. So, you go in here. You're driving. You got to throw it where people come from. You see this guy? He left Cam. And you got to throw this pass to Cam. And Cam needs to dive, and then he'll have a layup. You got to, learn to see that. and you make this one. But here's the point. The point is, what's going to make players better and make the game easier for your teammates. All right, this you're going to make once every 20 times. All right, so that's the vision. That's the thing you got to see. Where are defenders coming from, and can you pass it? This is actually a really good read. Catch it, close out of control, pump fake, take a dribble, bang. This is the turnover section. Obviously, you're not going to like this one, but this is, you have one of the shortest memories, which, like I said, that can be a strength. But, like, in this case, it's a weakness because after the game, I don't think you remember how many turnovers you have. And to me, unforced. So let's watch them. You got the ball. You don't have to take this risk and go behind the black and split them, but you do. And now, you know, that's a turnover. And these are all risks we don't have to have. I mean, Ethan doesn't even have a chance at this ball. I mean, there's no chance, all right? But here's the repercussions of it. Because we're not a good transition team. Boom, layup, all right? We don't get a shot at the basket, they do. All right, so this one I can actually deal with because it's not unforced. The guy shows up, takes it away. Plenty of kids turn this thing over. Cam needs to meet the ball. He doesn't. Turn over. All right, you still don't need to turn that over, but at least it's not unforced. Let's look at this one. Positioning, PVAD, positioning, vision, anticipation, decisions you make. All right, so you're positioning, your back is to the defense. You at least need to take a screenshot so you'll have better vision to see if somebody's behind you. Then you can anticipate better, then you make a better decision. So if you had looked up, you would know that this guy's right here and you wouldn't have traveled. All right, so all that, as a point guard, you got to look up. Like, you think you're open, but you never took a screenshot up the court to know that you were open. So there's your travel. Awareness, this is unforced in my opinion, because you got open people. Like, why not throw it to Jacob right now? All right, and I guess you think people are going to stop playing defense. Boom, there's a turnover. So their team just throws a bad turnover. We get it back, and then we just throw it right back to them. All right, they're in a zone, understanding defense. Don't throw the ball back where it came from. So we dribble up, just throw it to Nehemiah right here. That's the easy play on the opposite side of the court. You throw it back to where it came from, turnover. All right, ball's opposite. The ball should never bounce 2 bounces nowhere. All right, there's not a team that won't steal this pass. I mean, you look right at them, and then you let it bounce twice. Similar situation. The better you are at defense, the better you understand how it rotates. So this is the help the helper. If you drive, he's going to help. This guy's going to drop, the white kid here. All right, we just throw it up for grabs. It's going to be a turnover each time. All right, so we just get the ball. We need every possession against this team. Somehow we just lose it. Then we end up backcourting. Another unforced turnover. All right, like I said, we're going to sit in these because I want you to understand, like when I'm talking, that this is the stuff I'm talking about. As a point guard, you just can't have this many because every time you've turned it over, we didn't get a shot at the goal. So now we got to close out. Now look how you do all the hard work. Drive, you made a second defender defend you, and you just won't kick. You got to see this. Your eyes can't be so fixated on this rim at 5'8" that you can't see kickouts. So now they call it jump ball, but guess what? It's blue ball, so that's a turnover. We don't get to shoot at our basket. I'm putting this down as a turnover just because this had no chance of going in. We're in triple threat. We never dribble. Triple threat, and then we just shoot it. Hits the front of the rim. You don't get touched. You fading away. Like, it just had no chance. So that's a turnover. Listen, to think 10 with 10 eyes, you got 10 eyes on you. You're at the top of the key. We make a move. We got open guys. And then we just throw it up. So that's a turnover because you had Cam right here. You literally have 3 guys on you. And it's still got to go up. Finish with some defensive plays, and these are some of the things I need you to continue to do. All right, so you're on the backside covering diagonal. Then you see his eyes go corner. Then you run back. Go side. Then you run corner and get a steal. All right, that's good anticipation, good activity. My favorite defensive plays from each team, all right? And this isn't who you are, right? This is who you're capable of. All right, so this is like, there you go. You're reading his eyes. You go as you're surveying the court. All right, and then we get a layup because of it, and you good throw ahead. This one I see you anticipating, the ball gets trapped, you take away the easiest pass up here, then you run back into the play and stay active, get a steal. All right, and this is probably my favorite one because you didn't actually go for the ball or gamble, you just stunned at him, and because he had bad PVAD, right, he didn't see you coming, you jab at him, and then you're ready to get back on defense, and he travels. So let's go watch that one again. All right, you're there, you're running around, boom, jab at him, and then get back instead of going out for the full out steal like you typically do. So, hey, look, all this is on here because, you know, when we play in the next few weeks, I need you making adjustments because I know you need to visually see, you know, until you get there, right? I mean, verbally, if I tell you, hey, man, when he comes off that stagger screen, I need you to attach and trail, like that don't mean nothing to you right now. So that's why these videos are here to help you so you can visually see what I expect and what I want. So you need to make sure you study this video more than once, watch it over and over, and make the proper adjustments. The main thing you gotta do is you gotta block out more. You gotta play defense. That's a want to, right? You're quick enough. I don't know why you won't sit down and do it. So your defense got to improve, and your turnovers and playmaking has got to improve. All right, the basketball IQ, hey, as you continue to come and stuff like that, we'll continue to work on that. But I just don't want to continue to teach effort. All right, so give me effort every time and keep your eyes up and see the court and see if you can make players better.